Welcome to Bari Chats with Nina
and Pam
of Bari-Bestiez.
No sugarcoating here. We are talking bariatric life in all its realness.
The wins,
Setbacks,
food noise,
grief,
regain,
self-care,
nutrition,
movement,
motivation,
and mindset.
So if you are ready for honest, empowering conversations, you are in the right place.
We are serving straight up truth about our experience as bariatric patients.
So grab your water, your courage, and remember,
we are stronger together.
Hey guys, we are bringing to you today one of our favorite people in the bariatric community. We have Stephanie, the Bariatric Warrior, and she's actually joined us a couple of times, and she just has an amazing story. But she has also a lot to offer to the community, which I'm really excited to share with you guys. So Stephanie, I'm just going to let you reintroduce yourself to those who haven't been on the previous podcast. And just kind of tell them what you're doing in the community to help other patients. And also, by the way, congrats on your recent certification.
It's the ASMBS Certified Bariatric Nurse credential. Yeah.
That is awesome. Congratulations. So
thank you.
Go ahead and take it away. Kind of give us the rundown of what you're doing.
So, as she said, my name is Stephanie, also known as Bariatric Warrior on Instagram, but I am a multi-state dual licensed registered nurse and ASMBS certified bariatric nurse. And I work in the nursing compact states, so both in person and virtual, to offer one-on-one support, any patient guidance, advocacy services, and also private duty skilled nursing for pre and post-op bariatrics, plastic surgery, neurosurgery, spine surgery, and a lot of other things too. I created Bariatric Warrior Support because through my own journey as a bariatric patient who went through some very hard, dark times in her post-op complications, I felt very isolated and I felt very alone. And no one in the community was really talking about that kind of stuff. They thought it was just the butterflies and rainbows, this stuff doesn't happen. And I didn't want anyone to ever feel like I did. So that is why I chose to share for the past 4.5 years, the good, the bad, and the ugly of my journey. And I know for a fact that it has touched a lot of people's lives and helped them have a voice and go advocate for themselves. And I kind of had a little bit of imposter syndrome for a while, feeling that I wasn't worthy of starting my own business. And, for years, I've obviously been in the medical field for 11 plus years. And so I have the professional experience and the lived experience. And I've just always been the type of person to just give and not ask for anything in return. I always just want to be a support to someone because I know what it's like to not have that support. And it's so vital for your success. Pride myself on my mission statement, which is to provide access to affordable, quality, compassionate, safe care, which everyone deserves. Surgery, insurance doesn't always cover it. And even revisions that people may need for medical reasons or for, as another tool to treat the chronic disease of obesity, or they don't have a support person to even have the surgery. They are probably sitting there wondering, well, I want to do this life-changing thing so I can get out and live my life and go play with my kids and whatnot, but I don't have anyone there, either in person or virtually, to help support me in my pre and post-op recovery. Because there are systems, healthcare systems and clinics and whatnot, but we're so used to them handing you a binder and be like, I did the surgery, bye.
Yeah, leave a message, we might get back to you.
Right?
Someone will call you back in 72 hours.
Right?
Now, do you also work with people who do stuff out of country, or do you mostly stay in the States?
So no, with nursing compact license and being a multi-state registered nurse, you can only work within the nursing compact states, which it's basically about 47 of them.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yes. And I do know that Oregon and California are borderline, as well as Minnesota changing over. So I think that we're going to get to a point where it covers everything.
Is Virginia one of those states?
Yes, I can work in
That's
Virginia.
where we're at.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so like having a support person so you can have your surgery, or you want to have skin removal.
Yes.
Maybe your husband or your wife or whoever does not like wounds and drains and all of that things, nor are they, credentialed and experienced and have the skills to do that. And you want to make sure that you have someone who has been through it, gets it, it's in their scope of practice, and has lived it themselves and is going to provide you that quality, safe, affordable, compassionate care. Because as people go into, for example, when you went into your doctor's office, and you hear this all of the time, we all hear this all of the time. Oh, well, just lose some weight. Everything will get better. Yes. Like that's not, it's not helpful. And it doesn't make someone feel seen and heard, which is another mission statement of mine. And then they may not seek that help. They may just stay stuck, and they're worthy and deserving of care and having a life-changing surgery if they want to, or going on a GLP-1 medication, any tools for, treating their chronic disease of obesity. And as someone who's both, a bariatric patient and a healthcare person, I feel like that's where the compassion comes in and the empathy, because I've lived it and I get it. And I'm not the PCP that's never dealt with obesity in their life telling you these things, just lose weight. So, and along my wild roller coaster of a journey, even as a healthcare provider, advocating for myself and getting the things that I needed was so difficult. And you would think that it wouldn't be, or it shouldn't be, but it is. And imagining that someone going through that who has no medical background, and how much harder that would be.
And if you don't mind me asking, when you say compassionate care and all these things, can you kind of explain to us from A to Z how the process starts with you? So if someone needs your services, how do they get a hold of you? What is entailed in that service? What do they need to provide you so that you can research and get the information you need?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I do offer one-on-one warrior support consult calls, which is just a conversation. You have no obligation or anything. It's just having a conversation with me so I can see how I best can support you. So, reaching out to me either on the website with the contact form, which is www.bariatricwarriorsupport.com. You can reach out on any of the Instagram pages, the business page, podcast page, or my page.
And everyone, we will have that link in our podcast and where we post it.
Of course, they can email me as well. And I have all that information on my social media as well. So yeah, it starts with a simple conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. And usually that conversation's about an hour.
Okay.
We talk about your concerns, what you are going through, what you have done already, and kind of, come up with a plan to approach your providers, either me giving you the info and you going to do it, or me in person or virtually on your phone going to your appointments with you to advocate and help be your voice. So that's where it starts. And then, of course, it depends. It's very personalized. It depends on how much support, how much advocacy you need. So I do offer different tiers of that. Again, I pride myself on being affordable because I get it, because I have been in a spot where I need medically necessary revision surgery. And the community helped me, and I have always lived my life to pay it forward. So,
Well, I can definitely attest to Stephanie's willingness and ability to help. I had a recent stint of issues. Luckily, nothing major, but I was scared. And so I reached out to my pal over here and I said, hey, I said, this is my situation. She immediately went into, nurse mode and medical mode to explain what the doctors had actually told me and to ask for certain tests. Ultimately, as many people know, they've been following what I found out, mine ended up being a polyp in my colon that caused all my issues. But nowhere in all the things that all the doctors had said was that even on the list. You said, get a colonoscopy. And none of the other doctors wanted me to get a colonoscopy. And if I hadn't had
They
that,
kept doing what? X-rays?
they kept
or
doing x-rays and they did
MRI?
they did this the CT scan with
Contrast.
contrast and things like that. And they weren't seeing it. So when I reached out to you, you immediately were responding with medical answers in a way that I could understand it as someone who is not medical. And I love that about Stephanie. Stephanie I say, okay, I sent you a screenshot, I think, of what the doctor had written. I'm like, what does this mean? I've GPT'd it, but I really want to truly understand it. And do I need to be concerned? Do I not need to be concerned? The pain level I'm having. And you were very quick to provide. I mean, I don't think there was a minute that sat between the two communications. You responded very quickly.
And that's what changed the direction the doctors were going with you.
Yes. I actually fought them tooth and nail. She said, don't let them push you over. Now, she said she would go on the call with me, but I was like, I can handle this. I got this. But she's like, I'm there if you need me, just a phone call away. So, that's the one thing I will say is that she's going to explain it to you in detail in a way that you will understand it. She's going to decipher the medical jargon. She's going to let you know what the next step is. And I think that's highly important because not only do we want to understand what's been done, but what are our options? Some doctors don't tell us all of our options. Sometimes it's just, what can I, as in the doctor, do, to get the next check, the next bill done. But instead of sending you out
And
to
they're
someone
always
else.
looking at what your insurance will
cover.
approve.
Yeah.
And, they don't think outside the box sometimes.
Yeah. The only thing I couldn't get that day was the the
endoscopy.
The endoscopy, because they said it took longer to get my insurance to approve it. So they found the issue. I literally am fine. No issues since. And so, just wanted to use that as an example of quick turnaround, excellent care, excellent communication, huge 5 stars for Stephanie. I definitely
Thank
appreciate
you.
all that you did for me.
Well, it was like
Yeah.
from Monday to Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Monday to Wednesday. I mean, we got it turned around in three days. It was the doctors had found the issue. So it was great.
And I want to piggyback on that because what you said about, go to the doctor, you're in the ER and they give you all this information and you're like, what the hell is this? It can be very overwhelming and, you don't feel good. So why do you want to get online and start, looking up shit online when you don't feel good and you just want relief?
Yes. And a lot of times the internet will scare you even more because it's going to
Yes.
give you other case scenarios, worst case scenarios, when it may not be as bad, or maybe it is.
Yeah. According to Google, I've had a few strokes and a couple of heart attacks. It was just gas.
Yes.
Let's not go WebMD.
Exactly. We talk about that all the time. I'm like, get off of WebMD today. I said, go call somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yeah. But
So
it's very, it's important when someone is in overwhelm and pain and wants answers and relief and feels very lost.
Yeah.
And to have someone who will sit there and take as much time as needed to literally review everything and explain it into a way that you would understand and give the reasons of why you would need something or what to go ask the doctor, etc. I think it's very valuable to have someone who, lived it and is professionally, in the field and whatnot. Yeah.
So what kind of medical situations would you be the person to come to outside of bariatric surgery itself? What are other situations where it might warrant a call or to fill out the form and start that conversation?
So I don't just do surgical. I also help people non-surgical. So if you are
Okay.
on if you're dealing with chronic illness, for example, or if you're on any type of wellness journey, GLP-1 medication, like I said before, neurology and neurosurgery is another specialty of mine.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you
Sorry.
guys,
Pam was
back
excited about that.
surgery.
That's literally an area.
Would you like to talk about anterior and all? No, never mind.
What is it
We're
that
not
you
even.
had where your neck?
I had a
And
vertebral arterial dissection,
okay,
and
yeah.
I had a stroke from it
Ugh.
in 2020.
From a car accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
But she made it through.
You are
But
here.
yeah.
My neurologist is the one that introduced me to my bariatric surgeon.
Nice.
Yeah, sometimes you never know where it's going to lead you.
Yeah, changed my life.
Mhm.
Absolutely. But so that's good to know
Definitely.
that it's
Yeah.
not just bariatric, it's not just, surgical, but you have
I have
neurology. Go
people
ahead.
come to me and like they're freaking out about their lab work. I'm like, send me your lab work. I'll break it down for you.
That's
Obviously,
wonderful.
I'm not your doctor, but I can give you the gist of what these lab tests mean and then go ask your doctor about it.
Yes. And I think that's one area, and I think you're filling a void in
Mhm.
our medical community, in the hospitals and doctors' offices.
Kind of bridges that gap.
It bridges the gap of the doctor, the nurse, and then you're saying, okay, this is what they've given you. This is
Mhm.
how to translate it, and this is what you should do next. And I
Yeah.
think that is missing in our medical, I can't think of the right word right now, but it's really just missing. And I think this is a great opportunity for people that need the help. And from what I understand, you also do visits on occasion or travel on occasion
Yes, I do.
to places depending on the situation. But if you could speak on that a little bit.
Yeah. So obviously being a multi-state registered nurse, I can work in all of the nursing compact states physically as well. So if you are going into any type of surgery, whether that be a bariatric surgery, a skin removal, neurosurgery, spine surgery, or a vision, anything, and you don't have someone who will be able to be there to take care of you post-op,
Okay.
I will fly out there, and either we're staying at your house or we're staying at an Airbnb or wherever we're going. And you basically get 24-hour registered nurse care post-op.
That's
And
amazing.
and obviously that's a wide array of skills
It
that I
does.
have. I've taken care of many people post-op for different reasons. Especially plastic surgery and bariatrics, neurosurgeries. And it just takes away the fear of, not having someone there. Because like even your like you may have a support person, but they may be your only
Yeah.
income. So they
Yep.
have to go work. And so
Right.
having someone there who can help with your medication management, do your wound care, make sure you're
Mhm.
getting all of your nutrients, cook your meals, do your laundry,
Yep.
run errands for you. Yes, I do that too. Run errands for you.
Wow.
Take you to
You're
your
like a
post-op
full
visits.
concierge there.
Yes, take you to your post-op visits. Take you to lymphatic massages.
Oh, wow.
And communicate with your interdisciplinary team if you need something and to get it done like then instead of, so you don't have to worry about anything. That's
I
what
love that.
I'm there for.
I love that. What are some
Yeah.
challenges that you face when dealing with patients that are dealing with a chronic disease or a chronic illness that requires more care than just a week or two? What's kind of your plan with something like that?
So for, bariatrics patients, as long as you're not like having complications or anything like that, if you want like in person, I would say maybe like few days.
Okay.
For plastics, I say 7 to 10, sometimes 12. It
Mm.
depends on what you're getting done and how much you're getting done.
Okay.
And then spine surgery, again, I usually say like a few days for
Okay.
that as well. Again, it depends on the person. Everything is customized and personalized. The procedures you're having, do you have support at home? And, your comfortability of even like having someone in your home taking care of you, etc. Like, I'm not going to just be like, "Hey, I'm going to take care of you." So, like, I have contracts, I have forms, HIPAA, telemedicine forms, all the things. We go through everything together. We build that rapport and that, patient to nurse. I'm trying to think of the word.
Like relationship in a sense. That's
Yes,
okay.
or like
It's been a
relationship
long
in a
day for me
sense.
too.
Yeah, like, a relationship. So like we're talking even up until your surgery. We're
Okay.
talking like I'm guiding you and helping you through everything. And also, to get into that, is surgery is expensive, especially plastics, if your insurance will not cover it. So that's another thing with my services. I offer flexible payment plans.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's great to hear. Are there certain companies like Care or anything like that that you work with, or is it direct with you?
So no, I am a private entity, but I am fully insured.
Okay. That's great to know.
hmm
That's
Yes.
very good to know.
But yes, I do payment plans, and we talk about all of that on the calls as well. For surgical patients, if I am going to do in-person care, though, like, I mean, you can start paying from a year beforehand. That's
Okay.
fine, because I'm setting out that time for you.
Okay. Okay.
And we just break it down into whatever increments. And like I said, I am very affordable because I care.
Yeah.
I want to help as many people as I can. Now I can sit here and give you the number of like having a nurse, a private duty nurse for one night, and it's
hmm
upwards of $1,800, which is insane.
Wow. Yeah.
Uh, Now again, it's customized and personalized. I
Right.
will tell you, and it also depends on how far I'm going and all the things. Again, this is a conversation to
Yeah.
put it into like a starting point of where we're at, and then it can change. The bottom line is $400 for 24 hours.
That's
Mm.
extremely affordable, especially when you're getting one-on-one care. You're getting someone who is literally by your side for whatever period of time you need. And, for those times when a complication does arise,
Mm-hmm.
you're right there. You know what to do. You know who to
Yep.
call.
It's less than 25% of what a private
You're
RN would
right.
charge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, dang, that's awesome. That's good to
And
know.
that,
Sign me up. I don't know what I'm having done yet, but sign me up. I just want a massage.
yeah,
Take me to lymphatics massage.
Well, she's just within a couple hours of us, so I think
yeah.
we'll work that out. If I go to get my plastics done and I know my husband can't be here, I may end up doing that.
There you go.
So, what are some complications people may not think of and why they may want to get your services in preparation for an event? Not so much in the after it's happened and now I've got an issue
Mhm.
event, but I'm preparing, let's say I want to get what is it, armoplasty and the one
Oh,
for the legs.
brachioplasty. Yeah,
Yeah.
brachioplasty and a thigh lift.
Yes. So for that, what are some things that may happen that would warrant me having someone around to help me out?
Well, you won't be able to. So obviously, if you have a brachioplasty, your arms are like here. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't be doing this because you're going to pull tension on your scars. You're going to be in compression. You're not going to be able to lift anything. So, and really can't do anything with your upper body. So you're using all of your leg strength. But because you can't use your hands, we use our hands for everything. It's
Everything. Restroom,
everything. Yep.
everything.
So,
Mhm.
showering,
Mhm. Mhm.
medication management, your nutrition, like your Juven, which is really good for wound support, your hydration, feed people too, it's
Yeah,
just
because
a
you're
part
sitting
of
here like
it.
this. You're like, I
Yeah.
can't get the fork to my mouth.
They do make the long forks, but I'd probably just end up flinging it on the ceiling or something.
That would be
Yeah.
me. I'd be like, my
Mhm.
dog would be
Mhm.
waiting.
Mhm. But like
Actually, that's
getting
a
up,
good question.
yeah,
Bathroom.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
Bathroom
yeah,
services.
well, that
yes,
wasn't my question.
yes. I mean, yes, will be the assistant to helping you do all of the activities of daily living, and getting you comfortable in and out of your compression, comfortable
That's
with
great.
pillows and props and stuff. I also come with my very own compression devices that I put on your legs so you
Okay.
don't get blood clots.
Nice. I love
Yes.
it.
I do have red light therapy stuff,
Mm.
which you can't have until your scars are healed and stuff. But I also provide drain logs, medication logs that have all emergency
Mm.
contact information, a whole post-op supply checklist as well. I provide bromelain, arnica, scar gel, and a bunch of other things as well in my service.
Wow. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not kidding. That is amazing. And are there any things you stay away from? Certain surgeries that you would stay away from as this concierge or patient advocate?
No,
No?
because I've probably helped a majority of things.
Okay.
I obviously specialize in bariatrics, plastics, neurosurgery.
Mm-hmm.
Post-op care is post-op care. You have your post-op care instructions from your
Yep.
doctor.
And
Having a
wound care
nurse,
goes
Yeah.
where all
yeah,
that goes.
wound care, having a nurse, follow your doctor's orders, etc.
Right.
Yeah,
Actually
that's
follow them, not just say you
yes.
follow them. Yes.
Yes. Yes. And, communicate with your team and make sure that you're having a successful and safe recovery because it's vital. You want to have the safest and most successful recovery. We don't want the hiccups.
Absolutely.
We want to prevent the hiccups
Yeah.
from happening,
Well,
which yeah.
when I had my Florida delay paniculectomy, I got an infection because my dog, my had dog hair got into my
No,
wound. So that is actually the question I was going to ask. Do you have allergies to pets that people, if they have pets, would have to deal with?
no, I
Okay.
do not have allergy to pets. I do ask though that you clean your house beforehand
Yes.
because, we don't want infection and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, like something that I like to talk about is having a dedicated shelf in your fridge for
Okay.
me because I have my own dietary needs as
Sure.
well. And again, I don't think that's like too huge to
No,
ask
no, not
for.
at all.
Yeah. And
Not at all.
because I am, 24/7, I set alarms and everything. I don't sleep much. I sleep when you sleep,
I got
basically.
it. Wow.
Yeah. So but I do definitely set a boundary in terms of like I need my own space.
Mm-hmm.
I do need to take a break and eat lunch, type of thing
Yes.
like that.
Mhm.
Um, and also like having a small stipend, like daily of like $30 so I can like get some groceries.
Right.
It's literally, yeah, yeah,
To me, these are minimal
Yeah.
requests.
yeah.
So, definitely doable. Is there anything that I mean, I feel like I'm asking them all, but I just keep thinking of things to ask. I
You
know
had
you've got
time
some.
to prepare.
No,
Hmm.
no.
You guys talk a little bit more, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I do reach out to her a little bit more. We've gotten to know each other. But when it comes to aftercare, also, you brought up stroke, and that makes me
Mhm.
kind of wonder, is that something you also have to watch out with the blood clots and things like that with people that have had surgery? I know you mentioned the compression for the leg compression
Hmm.
wear,
Hmm.
but if they've had, again, the leg lift with the incisions, I assume, is that something you can still use? I mean, I'm just asking for my information.
So with a thigh lift, it really depends on your surgeon, and every surgeon is going to
Okay.
be different. Obviously, a regular thigh lift is not going to go all the way down to your calves.
Okay.
And when they're doing your surgery, you're in the compression devices when you're under.
Yeah.
But usually, not always, but the provider will usually put you on a blood thinner, like an
Okay.
oxyparin shot or something like
Yes.
that.
I remember one of
So,
those after
for,
bariatric
yeah,
surgery.
for usually it's for plastics, it's like 7 days that you're
Okay.
on a blood thinner shot, which I give you if I'm taking care of you.
Okay.
And, yes, infection, bleeding, DVT, blood clots are the common things that people talk about with risks and
Okay.
surgery. That's what the surgeon's going to talk about. So you're already preventing it by when you're in the OR, you have the patient in their, compression devices.
Mm-hmm.
You are then the doctor is giving you a medication to prevent DVTs, which is a
Mm-hmm.
deep venous thrombosis or blood clot in the leg, which then you're covered there. But then once you're home in recovery, it's
Mm-hmm.
still important to get up and walk around, because if you don't walk around, that's putting you at higher risk. B, either use the compression devices or wear compression socks.
Okay.
And then, again, just monitoring them for those signs and symptoms of a blood clot, which, would be any swelling, redness, warmth, or pain in the back of the calf. It's not usually both, it's usually one side. You can have any difficulty breathing or any chest pain. And then, of course, the signs and symptoms of a stroke, which should be like a facial droop, any muscle weakness of the arms or the legs, slurred speech, loss of consciousness, etc.
Yeah.
And then I think there's another thing that's really important to talk about is you're going to be on pain medication, and safety there is very important.
Yeah.
Do not get up on your own.
Fall risk.
You are going to be a fall risk, and you just had surgery. You don't want to end up back in surgery. So that's another thing with safety and having someone there.
Mm-hmm.
So to help you get up and be by your side, or, support you with the walker if you're using a walker, etc., to prevent falls, because we don't want those. Because pain medication, yes, it affects and alters your mind and makes you sleepy, and we don't need you going down. Another thing with pain medication is, we don't want this to happen, but it's important to have the understanding of that these medications could potentially cause a overdose. So having someone who is a registered nurse and, knows the appropriate actions to take if that was to happen, usually they will send you a prescription of Narcan,
Okay.
which you shoot up the person's nose, and then a few minutes later, if that doesn't, you shoot up another one, and obviously you're calling 911 at the same time. So
Right.
having someone there who quickly jumps into action to prevent those things, but also make you aware of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was to happen, you have someone who is on it and going to get help right away.
Right.
The third thing with pain medication, the fact of not being able to go to the bathroom, that's another thing.
Oh my
Someone
gosh. Constipation.
Yeah.
yes. So the constipation and staying on top of that. Otherwise, you're going to be bent over, miserable, on the toilet for 2 hours, chugging mag citrate, and it's not fun. No, it's not. But if you need someone, there to support you in that moment, obviously I'm going to be there. Like I always say to my patients, I say, I'll be your punching bag, because I understand all of the emotions that you are feeling right now. You're frustrated. Why the hell did I do this to myself? Like, come on, let it out. I don't want you to keep it in. Yeah.
Get all the regrets out and all the uncertainties.
I think being a patient, going through these things, knowing that your nurse and your caregiver at that time has walked that, I think that
Huge.
makes a big difference in you don't feel as vulnerable, I don't think, at times. So I think it's definitely a level of comfort. I wish I'd had that.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
would definitely feel more comfortable with somebody who's been through it versus somebody who's just gone through the motions and
Yes.
learned the stuff. Because you actually, that's where your care and compassion comes in, because you've actually been there.
You're not giving just textbook answers. You have a greater knowledge.
Real life experiences.
Yeah,
So
'cause
if
if
you
you
had
just-
to talk to our members and our followers, kind of I'm looking for kind of the closure and how to, again, reach out to you. We're going to put the links in the bio and everything, but, just what you would like to say to close it out to get their attention.
If you have ever felt lost or stuck or unseen or unheard, and you feel that something is wrong, um, because you know your body, but you keep getting the roam around of other things and you are just frustrated and overwhelmed and lost. I just want to let you know that you don't have to navigate it alone. And that's where I come in. Um, and I will make you feel seen and heard and not alone. And we will work through it and navigate it together.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Stephanie, I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for what you offer. I mean, you had to go through some things to
Mhm.
realize there was a need, but I think it's awesome.
I do have one last question.
Sure.
Right.
Yes.
So, thinking of you being one person doing all
Mhm.
of this, I'm sure your calendar is full. What type of a wait list do you have for those Berry Besties out there that are
Thinking about it?
thinking about utilizing your services?
So I am accepting new patients, and clients right now.
Okay. That's good to know.
Virtual, I am accepting them more so than in person because obviously in person takes different times. I will say that, yes, virtually, if you want to come to me and have that free call and see how I can support you, I have spots open for that. In person for upcoming surgeries, that will be fall. So like
Okay.
September, yeah.
Okay. You're going to get so big at some point, you're going to have to get a staff.
Oh, I mean, I've already talked about it because I'm like, I'm one person. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I've talked about it, but
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
Well, Stephanie, we're so excited for what you offer because it's definitely an area that's missing in the
Definitely.
medical
We
community.
appreciate
Mhm.
that.
And we love it and we love you. And we're so thankful to have you as one of our besties.
Well, I'm so thankful to have you both and all you do for the community and, just sharing your own journeys and, allowing me to help you and trusting me it means the world to me because, trust is so important when you've gone your whole life to doctors and they've just disappointed you. So
Just
that's
lose some
very
weight. You'll be
key.
fine. Yeah. We've
Yeah.
both gotten that response so
Yes.
many times, I'm
No.
sure.
And it's not the easy way out.
It is
No,
not the
it
easy
is
way out,
not.
no matter what anybody says. I tell people
No,
that all the time.
definitely life
Yeah.
changing.
Life changing, life altering, hard work, but worth every minute and every
Absolutely.
pound that you deal with. Stephanie, thank you so much. We're so glad to have you today.
Bye,
Why is
guys.
ProCare Health Berry Bestie's preferred choice for bariatric vitamins and supplements?
They are designed specifically for bariatric bodies.
They have complete daily nutrition in one easy dose.
No fillers, no junk, just quality you can trust.
Tastes great and easy to stay consistent.
Saves patients 49 to 61% on their monthly supplement costs compared to other leading brands. They believe in quality over cost.
They're backed by real results in a community that cares.
Because after surgery, your vitamins shouldn't be complicated.
Go to procarenow.com. That's PROCARENOW.com and use the code Bari-Bestiez. That's BARIBESTIEZ at checkout for 15% off your order or subscription. That's a wrap on Bari Chats. Besties, it's time to close the mic for now.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of honesty, laughter, and all things bariatric.
Through the highs, the lows, the food noise, and the NSVs.
We hope you found connection, inspiration, and maybe even an aha moment along the way.
So follow and subscribe Bari Besties on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Want a behind the scenes up close action? Join us on YouTube and don't miss a moment.